dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about DLC 1, where the story's going with Citadelle de Morts, plus a big connection back to the Chaos story. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and speaking of the Chaos story, we do have some plans in the next week or two to add the entire Chaos story from Black Ops 4 to the detonated codex. As of now, we have every piece of Dark Ether narrative ranging from Cold War, Vanguard, MW3, and of course Black Ops 6. But like I said, the Chaos story is becoming real relevant again, as we'll circle back to in just a couple of minutes. With that being said, a couple of days ago, Treyarch shocked the world with a logo reveal of Citadelle de Morts, which is actually a map that's going to be releasing on December the 5th. I think we were all guessing that December the 12th would probably be the release date, considering that's the 5th week of Season 1, and as we saw with Modern Warfare, week 5 of a season would be when Reloaded comes out. So details are still a bit scarce as to whether or not DLC 1 releases the same day as everything else in Reloaded, but either way, new Zombies content is just around the corner. So let's first start off with the storyline recap of Liberty Falls and then Terminus to see where that's leading us for Citadelle de Morts. So starting off with Liberty Falls. In Liberty, the Janus response team plus Blanchard are tricked by Dr. Panos, a former Janus scientist trapped inside the Dark Ether. Panos is seemingly being guided by a mysterious third party in the Dark Ether that we cannot hear or see, but he is consistently heard having dialogue with that individual. They build a machine that allows Dr. Panos to switch places with the response team, trapping them inside the Dark Ether and then releasing Dr. Panos. He then credits this silent friend of his for helping work on this project. Panos then leaves, having said that he has a few scores to settle, and mentioning to the person he was talking to that he would look for their friends. Big mystery as to who that person's friends could be, but with that, Richtofen is still left trapped inside the Dark Ether as well, while Janus is weakened and Panos has become free. I'm gonna guess right now that Panos may make an appearance again later on in the DLC season, kind of similar to what we saw with the Shadow Man, where he was in the launch experience for Black Ops 3, but didn't make another appearance until Revelations. I'm not suggesting that we have to wait till DLC 4 to see him again. I mean, that's possible, but I think it'll be a little while before we really figure out what is going on with Dr. Panos. But as far as Terminus, Nathan was turned into an amalgam by Dr. Modi and later died. Maya wants revenge on Richtofen and a Syndicate character named Franco. Dr. Modi dies to the boss, Subject 13. The crew then meet Sam, or SAM. It's an AI designed after Samantha Maxis in an attempt to replicate her powers. SAM offers to help them try and bring back Maxis by scraping all Director's eyes-only files, which obviously would contain all of Richtofen's most sensitive data. We see the names of various folders like Avalon, French Syndicate, Sentinel Artifact, Ravenov, Kraft, Richtofen, Franco, and even the Keep. There's even an untitled SAM folder that does say that Richtofen has learned and is obsessed with using the Sentinel Artifact to control prima materia and manipulate matter. This is outright confirmation of the Chaos storyline being connected and now canon to the Dark Ether storyline. How much remains to be seen though, but with Alistair Rhodes mentioned in Vanguard and the existence of prima materia and the Sentinel Artifact, it seems like quite a bit of chaos will be relevant, especially with DLC 1. Now, Richtofen has the French Syndicate attempting to find it for him, but by interrogating a man we are all familiar with, Gabriel Kraft, he's from Vanguard, he's still alive in the 1990s somehow. This is a big collision of multiple storylines here. We're talking the Dark Ether, which started with Cold War, a big connection into Vanguard, and also a huge connection to the Chaos story, which started all the way back in Black Ops 4. Originally unconnected to the old Ether story, but things have since changed. Now, Kraft was kidnapped by the French Syndicate's mob enforcer, and that enforcer is none other than Sergei Ravenov. This was actually hinted at in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, where Ravenov mentions his time being in the mob. So that's another game that this map is about to connect to, which is wild. It looks like every game under the Dark Ether narrative is gonna be talked about or referenced in some way with Citadelle de Morts. Kind of has me wondering, right? Was the Chaos story canon to the Dark Ether all along, or did it just become canon after the collapse of the multiverse with Tagger Toten? Just a bit of a theory, but Ravenov was ordered to kidnap Kraft by the character Maya mentioned earlier over in Terminus, Franco Moreau. One thing of note is that SAM directly lies to the Terminus crew here. She says that she believes Richtofen is in Avalon, but knows that she sent him to the Dark Ether at the start of this outbreak, as we saw in Liberty Falls. The crew crew rally around an opportunity to save Samantha and find Richtofen, so they head for Avalon unaware of SAM's manipulation. Now, something I want to point out is that we may end up seeing a massive connection inside of Avalon back to the Order occult that we saw in the Chaos story, and the Order obviously made an appearance in several Chaos maps, but was also pretty prominent in the Chaos comic books, which all served as a bit of a prequel to the very first Chaos map, which was Voyage of Despair, or chronologically you could say it was Dead of the Night, but you get the point. So let's talk about Avalon for a second. So the Avalon crime families are the French Syndicate and the Society Occult. Vanguard confirmed this, by the way. So it looks like they were based in Hotel Royal in Paris, France. So yeah, the Society Occult are known as the most wealthy and powerful group in Europe. Could that be the same order that we saw from the Chaos story, as something did happen in the occult in the 20s that led them to split? And what do you know, it was also confirmed in the Chaos storyline through the comic books and I think various pieces of intel across the 4 Chaos maps that Society Occult also had an issue in the 1920s. What are the odds that the name is not only relatively close to the order that we saw over in the Chaos story, but Vanguard references them and connects them to a multiplayer map, and now we're going to Avalon in France, which is where that original order from the Chaos story is also based out of. That could be the craziest way to tie in the Chaos story that I don't feel like enough people are actually talking about. Now, depending on what's going on with the timeline of the Chaos story, now that it's been retconned or just weaved into the Dark Ether story, I think there's a big possibility that Bruno could make an appearance inside of Citadelle des Morts, or can get referenced somehow if the Society Occult from Chaos is relevant over in Avalon. Now, we know that Bruno got brainwashed by the Order, as we saw in the Chaos comic books, and now that the Sentinel artifact is in Avalon, it does seem like maybe there would be a reason why some of the members of the Dark Order could be there. I mean, think about it. Bruno and Shaw both got revived by the Staff of Ra. Maybe they'll make an appearance and blow everybody's mind in like a mid-map cutscene, or even the ending cutscene of Citadelle des Morts. Now, you could consider that a bit of a stretch, but I do think there are quite a few loose ends from the Chaos story, which I believe Craig Houston is gonna try to at least answer a little bit with the Black Ops 6 narrative, and probably beyond. I think, if anything, Black Ops 6 could serve as the game where we get some closure to the Chaos story overall, or they could be leading to more of a crossover where maybe the entire Chaos crew ends up coming back out and could become playable operators through bundles, or just exclusively through an upcoming round-based map. I think there's a lot of potential to go to some pretty fantastical locations with the Chaos story, which I don't think was really possible with the old Ether story, but now that Chaos is connected to the Dark Ether narrative, I think that does set up and open up the door to some really cool and unique map ideas that wouldn't have been possible otherwise. Now, this has me thinking back to the older Chaos maps from Black Ops 4 and thinking about those red crystals everywhere. Was that Ethereum? Or those Dark Ether shards on top of the Prima Materia that was obviously present in all of those Chaos maps? Was there a plan all along to connect the Chaos story to the Ether, but maybe not right away? That's something that I would like you guys to think about down below in this video's comments. But I'm also thinking back to some of the quote-unquote canceled Chaos maps that never ended up releasing for Black Ops 4. There were several leaks a few years ago about where we were going next in the Chaos story. Some rumors suggested the Pyramid of Giza, the Library of Alexandria, and there was obviously that melee weapon, the Eye of Apophis, which mysteriously just got added into multiplayer and Blackout as a melee weapon, but never really fit in as just a basic melee weapon they wanted to add. It really seemed like that was something out of a Chaos map. Could that have been a wonder weapon or a special item that was going to be in a Chaos map? Absolutely. Maybe that was going to be something featured in a 5th or 6th Chaos map, which never ended up coming out. I do think Black Ops 4 initially was going to have year 1 focus on Chaos, with a second year going back to Ether, even though I don't really agree with the order of that, but I do believe there were meant to be at least 2 more Chaos maps to round out the Black Ops 4 cycle, especially considering Ancient Evil ended on a cliffhanger. But speaking of wonder weapons, I'm also thinking back to the rumor about the Umbral Blade that is supposedly the wonder weapon of Citadelle des Morts, and according to data miners, the internal name for Citadelle des Morts is Bloodstone, and so far, variants of this supposed wonder weapon may be referred to, internally at least, as Easy, Life, Fun, and even Dope. This could be the internal codename set for the 4 variants of the Umbral Blade wonder weapon. And the last time we saw elemental variants of a wonder weapon was D-Machine, and before that it was technically Ancient Evil, so it's been a while since we've seen in that system, but I think it's great and honestly poetic that we may see it again for a map that's so rich with some chaos lore. But if things got retconned and Gabriel Kraft is still alive, who's to say that Alistair Rhodes maybe also isn't still alive somehow? I mean, we saw him turn to stone back in Ancient Evil, but what if he's back? Or what if he got brought back? Or hey, what if he just never got turned to stone at all and we'll end up seeing him again at some point in Black Ops 6? He couldn't have been mentioned in Vanguard for just no reason. I mean, clearly it was referencing that Chaos is quote-unquote canon now, but maybe they are hinting that Alistair Rhodes is gonna return. But the description for Citadelle Daymore in the recent blog does confirm, after the shocking revelations at the culmination of the Terminus main quest, Weaver, Maya, Carver, and Gray follow the uncovered clues to Europe and discover an abandoned castle, a citadel of the dead, if you will, that offers up a host of redacted, ghoulish horrors redacted, medieval village redacted with hidden blank abound. So that is the official description for DLC 1, which I'm sure we'll get a lot more information about in the coming days. The release date is just around the corner, so I'd expect a full blog post, possibly a trailer, and other details from Treyarch really soon. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on Citadelle Daymore and the storyline thus far? Do you guys see a big connection between the Order or the cult from the Chaos story that may be connecting into DLC 1? And also, what are your thoughts on where Terminus and Liberty Falls left off? Really hope you enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.